Who is the best motocross rider in the world? Of course, we don't know, and while the Monsterenergy Motocross of Nations did give some answers, it didn't give enough to give us a clear picture. For sure, in my opinion, it is between MxGP World Champion Jorge Prato and AMA 450 champion Jed Lawrence. Both ridiculous skills and youth on their sides. Here are my top 5 riders of 2023. 1. Jed Lawrence. Similar to Prato, Jed Lawrence is special. His undefeated run in AMA Motocross was ended by Prato on the Saturday at a knee, but the circumstances of his 40th to 2nd in that MxGP qualification race made me more a believer than his results on Sunday. How can you not be a fan of this kid? Always smiling, always respectful to his rivals, but always giving a little mind game in his youthful way. Man, I wish he returned to Europe, because like Jeffrey Herlings in the last decade, this Lawrence brother will be the most polarized rider in the sport for the next decade. Please, please, please Jet, win yourself a handful of AMA titles and then return to Europe to collect some MxGP championships. My only knock on Jet was some mistakes at a knee that cost him an overall class win. He hardly made a mistake in the AMA races, but I am not sure the competition was as high as MxGP riders might present, against who he did make mistakes. 2. Jorge Prato. In my mind, while I could easily favor Jed Lawrence as the number 1 in this list, I am going with Jorge Prato, as Prato won, in my opinion, a tougher championship and had better results than Lawrence at the MXON. Prato this year has just been very smart. For a 22-year-old, he already has his racecraft in order and knows that riders will drop like flies throughout the season. Not one of his rivals went without suffering some type of injury, and his biggest rival, Romain Fibra, even missed a round due to an early season mishap. Prato isn't anywhere near his best and will in the coming decade, in my opinion, add another 2 or 3 MxGP titles. When that happens, he gets even deeper into the legend status that he has already built with his 2 MX2 championships and this year's MxGP title. In USA at the moment doing some Supercross testing, but seriously, I think it's just a ploy for more dollars when his contract runs out at the end of this year, or checking out if an SMX series might be able to be crammed into his 2024 schedule. In my opinion, Jorge Prato isn't going to move to USA full-time. 3. Romain Fibra. Outside of Lawrence and AMA, Fibra is the winningest rider of 2023, but just came up short in a championship due to riding on the edge style early in the season, a style that cost him an injury and also made him miss a Grand Prix. Once he hit Indonesia though, it was win, 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 and no doubt 2024 will be interesting. He won a moto on Sunday at the Monsterenergy Motocross of Nations, finished 7th in the other, but Team France were already more or less victors, so you can't always place that 7th place in how his speed is. Fibra is ruthless with his fellow riders, won't give an inch, and on many occasions won't even communicate with his rivals in conversation. His mental game is as tough as anyone, and you have to admire that. 4. Chase Sexton, our first American in the top 10, and he should of course be a lot higher, but injuries and lack of wins, it's hard to place him above the guys ahead of him, who all have victories in the 450/MxGP classes. Going to KTM is a tough one. Does it improve him, or does he struggle to race on the European bike? I think we are all hoping it's the first option, and being the team leader will present an easier route to the back wheel of Jed Lawrence. We also know that the most successful riders are usually running with the same team for a long period of time, and changing teams can take a year or 2 to acclimatize. 5. Ken Roczen. I know, he is part-time Kenny, but his performances when he has raced have been impressive. I think he surprised everyone to win the very tough MxGP class at the Monsterenergy Motocross of Nations, and when he did race in the AMA series, which wasn't often, he performed. With his career more or less just Supercross, which is from January until May, and then the World Supercross from maybe September to November, I sure hope we get him doing some MxGP rounds in 2024, and I think we will. throw in some AMA Nationals rounds, and Ken Roczen might turn up at Mandalay Basin in 2024 for the MXON and hand out another beating on his much younger rivals. Brilliant stuff in 2023, at a time in his career that he should be reaching for a walking stick and a cup of tea.